Hello, my name is David Hargrave, and I was lucky enough to have several wonderful things happen in my life. One of them is the website consciousness.com. The other is I have this kind of a site where I see really cool things in the clouds. And the third thing is I've had a realization about consciousness and how it interplays with the centrifugal fields of the universe. Part of the website is about these clouds. Now, I could see things in the clouds when I was a child, like we all do. And when I was 20, I saw so many amazing things that I borrowed a camera from this fellow and started taking photographs of them just to see if they would come out. And they came out. And so I started my little career as being a cloud photographer. And so I photographed this little white rabbit. The white rabbit was the very first thing I photographed, and I have this really beautiful angel and all these things. You'll see I have galleries of these clouds on my website. And my little twist on it is that, or I guess it's like a spin, is that I call them, I've understood from some of the, when I do jewelry artwork, that sometimes when I'm really working hard on a piece of jewelry, I'll see that piece up in the clouds later on. So my thought came to me that actually sometimes cloud visions are it's a cloud veiling over thought forms. It's not really inside your head, inside your cranium. It's actually, you're out in space, so more like the atmosphere in your mind, there's no walls there for your skull. It's like and then the thought forms are floating around, and the clouds, by resonance, veil the form of the thought form, and then you see the things that you're seeing. So it's not just, oh, it's just your imagination. It's your imagination at the level of what I call kindergarten clairvoyance. So yes, the second part of the website, consciousness.com, is completely dedicated to the notion that we live in an optimistical universe, and in particular centrifugal fields in the optimistical universe, and how those fields relate to different levels of consciousness. So we basically use the universe as a tool for ascending our consciousness through the universe itself into different states of consciousness and different levels of awareness. What does spinning around until you get dizzy, the whirling dervishes and how they change consciousness through spinning in their spinning dances, dizzy, whirling dervishes, and what does that have to do with the sublime mechanism of the universe, which is all about spinning and orbiting, celestial bodies? What do all those things have in common? Well, these are the little map of how I discovered the optimistical universe of consciousness. So, like everybody usually does, we bring up the name of Christopher Columbus when we want to talk about someone who saw, beyond the normal horizons and went out to explore it, even though most people thought he was crazy. Well, the one thing about Christopher Columbus is that he went out and he followed his hunch, went out and traveled across the horizon, beyond the horizon. And when he came back, he had a map. Now, the idea that the universe is made of these centrifugal fields and that consciousness is somehow interplaying with those fields is also going to take us beyond the horizons of our normal knowing about things. So it is going to be a new world when people start interpenetrating with these centrifugal fields consciously. So again, like Christopher Columbus, he didn't invent the new world. He just sailed out, and it was the same old world. He just went and just kind of like discovered it. Same thing with the optimistical universe and these fields of consciousness in the optimistical universe. They aren't new. I'm not inventing them. They're a part of the universe. And just like Christopher Columbus, I've went out to explore some of these fields, and I've come back with a map that I'm going to let you see. And I'm hoping that you will be able to use this map. I'm sure you will. Look what happened to Columbus. You had Magellan, Balboa. All these folks started jumping off the bandwagon and on to the roundness of the planet. So I'm sure you'll be doing the same thing with these centrifugal fields of the universe. It's inevitable. Humanity's moving from terrestrial consciousness into celestial consciousness. Now's the time it's going to happen. This is just one of the tools that's going to make it easy to do the transitions. Now, one of the ways this is going to change the world, like let's take some of the religions. There's a religion that says we're born into sin. Okay, when you find out that territorialism, armies and fighting and the terrorists and all those kind of territorialistic things is actually a function of the spin field of the earth, so that in actuality, in reality, we're born into spin, not into sin. And for those of you who really like to explore, we've been everywhere on the planet just about. But people who really do like to explore, what this optimistical universe seems to be opening up, I'm finding in some of my early meditational explorations, it opens up this possibility. And I'll put it into my own words. You might have your own words for it. It seems to me like my personal genetic, the energy of my genetic, when I meditate into these different fields, I meditate with my genetics. I kind of like put my genetics into these fields, and my genetics does what genetics always does. It takes the available material of the world it's in and builds itself a body. So I'm finding that when I go into these different fields, universal fields, I'm getting what feels like a body of light in each of these fields. And it's allowed me to do some kind of travel in the space of the universe. So now it's time to unfasten your seat belts, because we're just about ready to take off.